We are live. Howdy, everybody. How you doing? I am live with the amazing, wonderful, splendiferous Nicola Peake. Say hello, Nicola.
Hello, Nicola.
She's also a bit of a twat, which is why we get on so well. So if you haven't heard of Peake Fest, you must have been living under a rock. So before we dig in, Nick, just tell everybody about the event, what it is, why they need to be there. Just
so Peake Fest is my new baby, really. So I did it for the first time last year. It was my idea of bringing loads of people together in one foul swoop, just like one big event. So I've ran 60 different types of in-person events, from VIP days.
Sorry, how many?
About 60. From like, some are VIP days, some are small mastermind days. I've done some 50, 60 people. Then I've done book launch events where we had 8 people, as well as then a DJ and dancing on the night, because I like to bring a bit of fun to it all, because business doesn't have to be boring. And then I was like, I want to do something bigger. And I had this idea of doing a festival style business conference. Okay. So last year was the first time that I ran that event, and it was amazing. And we had a big top, and we had the main stage in the big top. We had teepees with the workshops going on. We had a shopping village. We had all the food and drink traders. I basically built something, though, that probably should have been for 2,000 people and not 200 people. And I put myself under a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. But it was amazing. But it taught me a hell of a lot. It taught me a lot about outdoor events, how much I didn't know, because I just went into this like, yeah, I'll sort it out. It will all be fine.
Of course we can do it. Of course.
I had no idea how much work was going to be involved doing an outdoor event. But what come from that was the connections, the people having fun, the different element of an event. And there were just so many amazing reviews and testimonials and people loving it. The weather wasn't kind to us. There were a few issues, because anything outdoors in the UK, there's going to be some risks.
You did have ridiculous weather, though, for the time of year. It's like the universe proper turned against you that day, didn't it?
It did, yeah. The universe turned against me the whole year leading up to it. It was just one thing after another, with venues pulling out, event planners letting me down because it was too much for them, and to me like having to create the whole thing really in 12 weeks in the end.
Wow.
After everything, having to find new venues, new suppliers, new everything. It was chaos. But
so just run us through that, because I know there'll be people watching this, whether they're watching live or on replay, or like, yeah, I can run an event. Just run us through some of the pitfalls that hit you and how you managed to get past them, because you nearly quit so many times, didn't you? But you kept going.
Yeah, it would have been easy to have just gone, this is too big. And people did that to me. Like, people that have been paid significant amounts of money just stepped back because it was too much for them. And that's their job. Like, that's what they do. Wow. So I was just left on my own. Oh my God. Like, we kind of started planning it November 23. And then I found my dream venue. So I'd always wanted the event to be at Weston Park. Where they used to do V Festival, if you ever went to V Festival.
Okay.
And so they do lots of big events there. They had Camp Festival move there over the last couple of years when they moved.
I like how you think really small, Nick.
Yeah. I was just starting small. So, so I went there and had quotes. We went out to tender to get different event planners in, but I ended up going with Weston Park and their planners, because I was like, well, they know what they're doing, right? This is what they do. They've got all these grounds. They're a charity. They're owned by the state. They've got an amazing team. So we went with them. And then just like we'd go and have meetings, and then they'd turn up to meetings literally just with a pen and a notebook. Whereas me and Kirsty, who was helping me, would have the spreadsheets, we'd have our laptops, and they'd take all the notes and go away. And then we'd chase after a few weeks, and they'd be like, oh yeah, I forgot we mentioned that. And it's like, Kirsty's got no tolerance at all, because she's come from corporate and procurement. She's like, this is ridiculous. And in the March, they'd still not sent me a contract. And we'd been chasing since December. It's like,
and the event was when?
September. So it's like, we need to get the contract. And then they sent a contract, and it just wasn't worth, like, we could have just written it. It was like done on the back of a fag packet. So we had to go back through and go, no, well, we need this and this and this and this. And you're organising it. So a lot of the limitations and stuff was on us. Like, if this happens, it's on you. If this happens, you lose your money. And I was like, well, you're the all ones organising it, so you need to put in place, this is you, I'm paying you all this money to organise it. Anyway, Good Friday, we had the contract. So contract come through, still wasn't right. And then we went and had more meetings. And at that point, I actually went out to other event planners. And I was like, it's just not feeling right. Something doesn't feel right. They're very much like, we're the professionals, just leave it in our hands. It will all be fine. It will all come together. But I'm like, I need to know what's happening. I need to know the progress. I need to know where we're at. And other event planners said, we can't take it on now. Like, the professional event planners were like, we haven't got long enough. You've only got 6 months. There's no way we can pull off a festival in 6 months. So nobody else would take it on. Anyway, we ended up having a 10-hour meeting.
10 hours?
A 10-hour meeting. I paid for somebody to come in that does big events, used to do massive events for thousands of people, paid him for a day. We had 10 hours where we sat and went through everything. Then we got on a call with the venue for 2 hours, ironed it all out. And I was like, yes, I feel like we're back on track. And this was in the April.
Yeah.
Then we got to June, still not had the contract back. Still were like chasing them. And it got to about the 15th of June, something like that. And they sent us a contract and they wanted £200,000 within 4 weeks. And I was like, well, we haven't got £200,000 to pay you. It needs to be staggered. We've got this, we can pay now. And then the rest we want to be able to pay up until September. And to this day, they've never spoke to me, not even answered the phone. They just sent an email and said, basically, because you won't agree to that, then we're withdrawing. And they cancelled the whole thing. They wouldn't even let me use the venue, even if I got the suppliers myself. They wouldn't share with me who the suppliers were. And I was saying to them, like, don't cancel all of those suppliers, because this event will go ahead. I'll find somewhere else, and it's unfair on them. And they were just like, there are contacts, not yours. We're not passing them on. So they cancelled all the suppliers down. So I don't even know who they were. They just all got cancelled. That took business away from them. And I was just left then with no event, no venue, no suppliers, with 3 months left to go. And nobody else would touch it because it was
so you've got people who'd bought tickets.
I'd had sold 200 tickets by then. I'd got about 60k in sponsorship. I had people's money. I'd spent people's money on marketing and promotion and ads and all the other things. Yeah. I was a financial advisor, so holding on to cash is like, I hate it. I've got people's money. And so I had 3 choices at that point. It was either cancel the event completely, go into liquidation and run for the hills and not pay anybody back. It was, which a lot of people do. You see lots of this is happening lately. It was either change the date again, and I'd already changed the date in December so that I could have this venue, because it was my dream venue. So I'd already changed the date once. So I was like, I'm going to lose credibility if I do that. Yeah. Or it was like, I've just got to try and do this myself and learn and figure it all out in the next 3 months. So then I was like, I need to find a venue. So I started looking at venues and going out and meeting people. And I met a lovely woman who runs a venue, who we couldn't use her venue because she already had something on, but she's like, look, I'll help you. This is great. And I'd love to have it next year. I'd love to get involved for next year. Wow. So we quoted and I was paying her to then start, because she knows all the suppliers, because she has got a whole venue that does weddings and stuff all the time, was paying her. She was then going to take over and pull all the suppliers in. Yeah. Found a new venue, announced it to everybody. In August, I was getting twitchy because I'd become a bit of a control freak, and I was like messaging her daily, who have we got booked? What have we got? What have we got?
That's your inner financial controller coming out, isn't it?
Yeah. Transpired she wasn't really doing as much that needed to be done. She had her own business.
No.
So then she withdrew in August, 7 weeks before the event, and said, I can't do it. It's too much for us. We can't do it. So 7 weeks before the event, I was just me. And I was like, fuck. But at that point, I was just so like, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. I just went into full on. And at that point, I still had 70k to find to plug the gap. I still had to find all the suppliers. I still had to manage all the suppliers, the police, the legal team, the council, the licenses, everything. I had 7 weeks to do the whole thing. And it was insane. Even like the week before, the venue let us down massively. He went on holiday during the event and he was meant to be on site the whole time as a contact. Got there and he'd gone on holiday. The head of the venue had gone on holiday. So literally there was nobody at the venue on site at the actual event. They'd all booked off and they'd locked the gates so nobody could get in. It was just honestly a nightmare. But he always said to me, there's water. The reason I booked that lounge is because there was access to water.
Yeah.
Week before, when the toilet people come and were looking, there was no water. The only way they were saying we can get water is by digging a hole into the ground. It was going to cost me $5,000. And I was just like, what? Like, nothing. Please, like, just stop having things go wrong. Food traders started to cancel because they were like, oh, we don't want to do it now. And some of them lost deposits, like that they'd paid me. Then some food traders wouldn't come because they were like, I won't come if I'm not on my own. And I'm like, well, I can't have people queuing for one food trader. I was in a food traders group and they all started attacking me because of what was needed, because I wanted more than one food trader. And like it literally just ended up turning off the comments and having to leave the group because I was just been like,
oh, bless you, that was horrible.
And I was just like, oh my God, this is such a crazy world. But we did it. Like we managed to, every little thing was done at the death. And it was amazing. And I will do a festival again because I know everything now. But this year I've brought it indoors because there are just so many risks. Like, you know, we had half of the attendees not show up because of all the weather, the storms, the floods, things like that, which obviously then led to some.
That really was freak weather, though, wasn't it? That was proper inclement weather. That was all over the news.
Thing to top it off, there was on the Wednesday when we were building everything. I was down there, like I was down on the site from the Wednesday at 8 a.m. until the Wednesday after the event, and I was helping build, put everything up, and de-rig. Like I was proper in it. So I was there on the Wednesday, absolutely piss sweat through, and everything was being built. And I just stood there. When I actually seen it, I was just like, oh my God, this, like, it's literally what I had in my head, that vision of it being built. And I didn't care. I was literally just literally down to my knickers. I got home and I walked in and I was just like, Rob was like, go and have a shower. I didn't eat. And this is no word of a lie. I didn't eat for 8 days. And at the actual event, my friend and Callie, who's in the online space, kept trying to bring me food and were like trying to force feed me. But I just like the thought of
goodness, you had more than one food vendor.
Well, I was just like, the thought of eating, because I was so in it that I didn't eat for 8 days. And it was just, and then I left like the Wednesday after, de-rigging in the rain. And there's like a photo of me just stood there in the mud in my dry robe, like a bit sweat through. But it was like, it was such an experience. And as much as it was challenging and hard work, seeing everybody then having fun and connecting and dancing, like we had a DJ on the Saturday night, people were dancing and doing silly things and doing the time warp, and like it was just really lovely. It was really lovely. But yeah, maybe next time I do a festival, I'll do it on a smaller scale. And
you know what? Hats off to you. I mean, I've been part of the organising teams on all kinds of events, you know, black tie events on Park Lane in London, through to TED events and massive conferences. And we did an online conference on a cruise ship, all kinds of events, not at the scale you're talking, but just from the hurdles you're talking about, and that you found a way through them, and that you found the ovarian fortitude, shall we say, to keep going. But wow.
Yeah.
And
I mean, there was just me and Kylie. Like, people would like go, so, like, get your team to do this, because then obviously the week before you get a million messages, everyone's asking questions. And then it was like my inbox was just ridiculous. And I was like, oh my God. And like I was on a podcast the other day and I was talking to Kirsty, and Kirsty helped me through. And the big thing that I did last year, which was a mistake, was that I went into this before I built a team. I should have built a team really to support me before thinking I can go and do this massive big thing, where actually I couldn't do it. I did do it on my own because I had to, but it's not something I'll put myself through again. So like this year, I haven't took a team on myself because I also learned about myself that I'm crap at managing a team and leadership. So I've paid a significant amount of money to have a proper events team on hand who are phenomenal, that are just taking all those pressures away. That I know that they run other big events. They're behind a lot of other big events. So I know that they're going to be brilliant. And I see the worth in that now. If I'd been quoted a year ago, it's going to cost you this to have an events team, I would have gone, no chance, not paying that. But now I know the value of it, because now I know that, oh my God, that takes away a lot. Like,
so how have you got to the point where you're going again and you've made some tweaks and it's going to be epic? And I know, you know, I've spoken on some of the biggest stages at some massive events across the UK, Europe, and not even thinking about all the online worldwide ones. But you were pretty much not quite rained off, but I know a load of people didn't show up because of the torrential weather. People just couldn't get through because there were these floods that weren't supposed to happen. You had all of those hurdles before the event. You were spinning so many plates, trying to make sure that your sponsors got their worth and that you'd got everything. You made it happen. And then all I saw from that event was really positive stuff. And honestly, as a speaker, I saw the coverage from that event and went, wow, why wasn't I there? I want to be on that stage. I want that. And yes, this year.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I saw that right at the beginning and I knew this is going to be epic. This has got some massive legs. And I know, although we're not going to drop names, I know that you've had some really well-known speakers contacting you and saying, I want to be there. So for it to be making that kind of ripple, but also classic human nature, and again, without going into all the details and naming names, I also know there have been some people who enjoyed it at the time who then decided to start having a bit of a bitch fest afterwards and started pulling strips off you. And that kind of backlash can be really difficult. And I know that there have been a few people this year who've been trying to just stick the knife in a bit, even though the feedback from the event has been amazing. How are you managing it? Because for me, as somebody with ADHD, where good old, RSD can knock me sideways and have me going through paranoia central, and everybody hates me and I'm just sitting in the corner rocking. How are you managing to just keep going? Because that's so hard.
About 3 times a day, I go and sit in the corner and rock.
Okay, I'll see you there. Bring a bottle of whiskey. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't know what RSD was until I spoke to you last year. And I was like,
for anyone who doesn't know, rejection sensitive dysphoria, you feel things more than people with neurotypical brains can properly.
Yeah, and like I just assumed I was just always a bit paranoid and stupid. And then when you started explaining it, I was like, oh yeah, I feel like I've had that since I was about 12. Like it's just always been there.
Another potential ADHD here, and of course it has to be, because now I've got it. Everybody around me has to have it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was difficult. I mean, like at the end of the day, not everybody was happy. Not everybody was happy that the attendance was low. There was some elements that weren't perfect. There was some, like, I hold my hands up, not everything was perfect. And
but you can't control the weather. That was the biggest reason people weren't.
Yeah, and I think anybody doing an event for the first time is not going to get everything right.
So to put it into context, Nick, you sold how many tickets and how many didn't show up because of the weather?
So we had 430 tickets allocated, and that included speakers, sponsors, attendees, the sponsors, tickets that they got as part of their package. And then we had about 200 that come through the event.
So that's still pretty good, considering that half of the UK was inaccessible at the time.
Yeah. And I mean, if I had an event in a hotel room or a conference room, 200 people would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
But my goal had always been, like I'd always said, I want to do an outdoor festival and get 1,000 people. That was when I started marketing it. I was like, I want to get 1,000 people. That was quite quick that wasn't happening. And my sponsors always knew this. Like I've heard things and I've seen things that have been sent around saying, she said there was going to be 1,500 people there. That's a lot. Like, one thing I won't tolerate is lies. Like, yes, if you're unhappy, you have your voice. Like, everybody has a voice. You can share your opinion constructively. That's fine. But what I won't tolerate is people lying and being malicious and then DMing people. Like, that was just ridiculous. But the sponsors always knew. We've got, like, this year, we got a group chat. I've told you all where we're at with tickets. I always kept people up to date. And once we changed the venue, the license wouldn't allow me to have more than 499 people anyway, the police and the council. So it was always very much known. So we had 430, then 200 didn't show. So because I've built this a massive thing with all these spaces, it did feel a lot quieter than it actually was, because people are in different spaces. And that was a lesson for me to be like, okay, next time, if I do it outside, maybe we have less workshops running at the same time. Some things like agendas, the communication leading up to the event wasn't brilliant because, again, I was busy on fields. I was not delegating as well as I should have been to the people that needed to be sending the emails. The communication side, people were messaging me all the time. And some things I had to say no to because it was too close, which then caused backlash, because how dare I say no if people have got neurodivergence and things and they need those things. And I was like, I can't put that in place now. People didn't like it. So, like, people were frustrated and there were shortcomings. There were things that I could have done better, 100%. But what I did is I listened to all of that. I sent out feedback forms to all my speaker sponsors within 3 days of the event, just put them into the group chats. I actually didn't go and look at the feedback forms personally. Kylie went through everything and took out what needed to be anything personal. I was like, if there's anything personal, can you just remove it and just give me what we need? Because of that RSD thing, I was getting a lot of personal stuff, and people were saying I was gaslighting them, where I wasn't. I was just going, oh yeah, we couldn't do that because of this. Like, I never understand where gaslighting and actually just answering a question and defending yourself is blurred. Like, I just but then the whole stuff that went out publicly by somebody with a huge audience caused a massive ripple effect. And it was their experience. They've got every right to explain their experience, but it come from a place of reaction, because it was 3 or 5 minutes after me sending an email. I just don't think that, I personally don't think it needed to be done in that way. But it happened. I'm still hearing things now that are being said and hearing, and people are sending me things. But I have said I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want things to be sent to me. But you still
not your circus.
No, but I'm just like, I'll hold my hands up. I put a statement out. I apologise for the things that did go wrong. Like, if there's only me that can say sorry, because it was on me, because I wouldn't let anybody help in the end. I was like, everything's on me. I've got to make sure this works. So it was all.
But when you've been let down that many times, it's not surprising.
Yeah. And like, a lot of people were empathetic and could see what I was going through. But then some people just like, no, you're doing this big thing. You make sure it's right. And unfortunately, not everything was right. And, I've spoke to people and I've done things and I've tried to help people where I can, that sponsors that weren't happy last year, I've had conversations with. 99% of them, we've had really good open conversations. We've had discussions. Some are coming back this year, have come back again because they loved it and they did so well last year. And my best friend Callie did a talk at the end of Peak Fest last year that wasn't even scheduled in, but because there was a gap, that she was always like, I'm getting on your stages, bitch, whatever. Like,
me, really.
So she got up and she did a whole talk about when you arrive, and she's like, some people came with their pineapples and they turned their pineapples sour, and some people came with their pineapples and turned them into pina coladas, and everybody that's here that's enjoyed it, that's made the most, come and had their pina coladas. Some people got sour pineapples and left, and you've just got them to make the most of what it was. But do you know what, it was still bloody amazing. I look back now and I'm like, I freaking did that and it was phenomenal. But there have been a good few months since then where I have gone, fuck it all. Like, I'm just closing it down. I'm not doing it anymore. There's too much judgment, too much criticism. People don't like me anymore. My followers have gone down. Unsubscribers, clients, members are lost. Like, it did have a huge impact on everything to do with my business. Wow. Massive impact. And I either go, do you know what, this is it. I've been called out online. I've had that online horrible shit show. Do I shrink and make myself small? Feeling so, and don't get me wrong, I have felt sorry for myself. I have been the victim. I have been in survival mode since.
Yeah, of
Or
course.
do I just go, do you know what, I'm going to land 1 or 2 people that were upset to kind of ruin what I've built and ruin what I could keep building. And I want people at this event who aren't people that are going to go and call people out online, who aren't people that are toxic, spreading rumors, bullshit, lies. I want people who is singing. Yeah, she did even sing. I want people who want to meet people, make friends, have fun, have the connections, have a good time. Okay, if something isn't perfect, why do we have to feel the need? Like, I go to other events, and I was at an event not long ago, and some people were saying, oh wow, this, and like, I'm not keen on this, and I was like, leave it till you get home. Like, don't do it. Won't come walk into your office and go, oh, I'm not really keen on that there, and I'm not keen on this there. Like, just wait till you get home. There's no need. Like, there's so much work goes into events. Like, when I go to other people's events now, I've got so much empathy. Like, you see because you know what goes on behind the scenes. It's hard work. And no event is ever going to please everybody. And I think that's what I had to take from, like, I can't please everybody, and being a people pleaser, I struggle with that. But there's always going to be, even this year, I know that there'll be somebody that comes that really doesn't like it, or there's something that upsets them, or there's something that they don't like. Like, I can't please everybody, but I can try my best, and that's all I'll do now.
I think, again, you know, having been part of an organising team or speaking at or attending some bloody massive events in my time, and there's always something. If you're looking for something that's not right, you're going to find it. Whatever you are doing in life, if you set out to find something that's wrong, you will find something that's wrong. And I don't get that. Maybe it's because I've kind of trained myself over the years to be pina colada glass half full rather than half empty. I would much rather, you know, the thing I say a lot, you know, you can either focus on a pile of manure, or you can look at the flowers growing out of it and the potential to grow more. And why would you want to focus on a big pile of poo if you can be going, well, that was amazing. Look at those amazing blooms coming out of this. Look at the networking, look at the smiles, look at the opportunities that are being created. And also, let's just say, hold on, this absolutely bloody brilliantly bonkers woman has said, let's do an outdoor business festival. And then the weather gods have gone, up your bum, let's make this fun for you. How is any of that your fault? How? And even if it wasn't that, even if people have gripes, we've all been for a meal and had a gripe, bought something and had a gripe, been to an event and had a gripe. We all do.
Yeah.
And unless it's, I'm guessing we've all seen a massive brand that's cocked up. Like, you know, I was eating a major restaurant train once and had a bit of glass in my drink, and they didn't rectify it. You can guarantee I was straight onto what the platform formerly known as Twitter going, come on, give me a voucher, give me a voucher. But this isn't that. This is an independent event, and that's where we need to lift each other up. So I guess that's just, it's so beyond my psyche. I don't get the cliquey pull people down. I don't subscribe at all. And I know this is me being weird, and a lot of bigger businesses do subscribe to this. I do not subscribe to the idea that if somebody is seen as competition in any way, you need to get in there and cut them off at the knees. I think there's enough for us all. I think all that does is shine a massive light on your insecurity. It makes me think of that old saying, there's no such thing as a superiority complex. There's only ever an inferiority complex. So why anybody would need to try and sabotage your progress, your business, because there was one event that didn't go their way, or there was something they didn't like, I just don't get it. And frankly, even if it's somebody with a massive following, then think about impact. Anyone who's going to listen to that kind of negativity and take it on board is not the kind of person you want at your event anyway. So I keep saying to you, because we've been coaching together for a little while now, and I keep saying, that's one bubble. It might be a big bubble, but how many billions of people are there in the world? So get outside of that bubble, go big, because again, until after the event, I hadn't seen anything other than really positive feedback.
Yeah.
And even now, although kind of I'm more aware because of what I've heard from you and other people in similar circles, still the majority of people that I would call part of kind of my tribe, and some of them are part of your tribe too, I've only ever heard positives. And even those who are kind of rained on and soaked through are like, she kept going, all those hurdles, and she kept going. That's amazing. I can't wait to see what she pulls out of the hat next. I just can't.
I think for me this year, I want to enjoy this year. Like for me this year, it's like, I've got the event team in. I don't need to be there for the build. I don't need to be there to organise. I can just rock up with my hair and makeup done, looking pretty. And I want to be able to
you can do
speak to everybody. Like something what I couldn't enjoy last year is I couldn't go and have conversations. I was literally pulled from pillar to post. I had no time to have the conversations and things. And that's what I love about in-person stuff. I want to be in it. I don't want to be stuck working. I want to be enjoying it myself. So that's what I'm looking forward to this year. Is like meeting people, having those conversations, making the connections myself, and just making everyone feel loved, really, that they come in and have a great time.
So what would your piece of advice be to anyone watching this who's thinking, so there's a few things I want to drill down to, and we've got the kind of, we've laid the ground rules and given a bit of an overview. What's your one piece of advice to anyone watching this who's thinking, I want to run a big event?
Honestly, just get the support. Don't think you can do it alone. Even like you can get, like if you're just doing it in a hotel or a conference center, like you can get support from the people there, but don't do it alone. Make sure you have got people behind you that can, like I'm still going to have to get volunteers for Peak Fest. We still need to get people to be there. But it is really hard to pull it all off, like, because you've got to think of your sales, your marketing, selling the tickets, getting people there, the communication, like make sure you've got a VA, a business manager or somebody to be doing that. Get advice on, making sure that it is inclusive, diverse. This is a lot of stuff I'm working with now, working with a few people, helping them with their events. And these are things that I spot now, which I wouldn't have, privileged enough that I wouldn't have noticed a couple of years ago. But, how you represent different people within your marketing. There's so much to think about to make sure that you can create an event that is accessible for as many, I'm not going to say everybody, but for as many people as you possibly can. I think that's really important. But just don't do it alone. Get the support, honestly, invest to get the right support. Honestly, I wish I could have paid somebody that had done a big event before to take me through that. But like, I was just like, I can do it. But
well, the flip side of that, I'm all about flipping your negatives. All of that experience that you have now, and I know one of the things you help your clients with is building their own communities and events, and there's some exciting stuff coming up soon about that as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
What are the biggest take homes that you've learned that without that experience you wouldn't be able to pass on to other people? Because one of the definitions of an expert, isn't it, that an expert is someone who's done everything wrong, made every mistake and learned from it. You are an expert, my love. So what are the biggest take homes that you now share with the people you serve that you wouldn't have had it not been for some of the things that went a bit peat?
Oh, it's really hard to just think of a few things because there's so much which is all just in here. And it's not until I'm sat talking to somebody about their event and they bring something up and I'll go, oh, be mindful of this, and oh, be mindful of that, and actually you want to do this. And so it's hard to think what are the key things because there is so much. And it depends whether it's the sales, the marketing, the launches, or actually the logistics of the event. So I think some people do bypass, like they'll want to keep an event simple. So they'll be like, well, I'm not going to bother with the big screens and this, we'll just ask somebody at the front of the room and keep it simple, which I completely understand. But then from an accessibility and inclusivity point of view, it's like, well, if somebody can't really hear you very well, or what if they can't hear you, haven't got loops, and there's nothing on the screen either? Like there's so many other things to then consider. Like if you want to attract a diverse community to your event, there's so many different things to consider. Like you can try and keep it simple and keep costs down, but then you're not really opening up to lots of different people. And these are things I didn't know 2 years ago. I look back at some of the events I did, I'm like, oh yeah, I really didn't hit the mark there. And then there's the launch and sales side. Like, it is hard selling tickets. And I think people think, oh, I'll do an event for 100 people, it'll be really easy to sell the tickets. Oh, it really isn't. Like, it really isn't. It takes a lot. And honestly, the big thing for me is, if you are going to be doing an event, just be mindful of how much time has to go into selling that event. I'll hand on heart tell you now, doing Peak Fest last year massively messed up my business, because when I was let down and I suddenly had to take over not just the selling of the event, I had to organize and plan the whole thing. I wasn't selling my masterminds, I wasn't selling my communities, I wasn't selling one-to-one offers. So I didn't sell for 6, 7, 8 months properly, and I was okay because I had a community and I had recurring income coming through. I thought I was okay. But what do you think happened after 6 months of me not selling? And members were leaving and their renewals were coming up. I lost income. So it's a balancing act. I do speak to people about events can really make you a lot of money, and they can. I've made significant money from my events, but nothing like Peak Fest. Peak Fest is a loss. Like, I know that. I knew going into this, it was going to be a loss leader. I would have to sell from the event to make any profit, which I didn't do last year. I would have to look at other ways to monetize that event. So I honestly think if people are looking to step into events, start small, 10 people in a room, 20 people in a room, 30 people in a room. Use them to upsell to your higher ticket offers. Show people what you do in person. Then if you want to do something bigger, maybe a retreat. Then if you want to do something bigger. I think the mistake I made, if I'm being completely honest, is I went from this to this. And I missed out that gap in between. I think if I'd gone, let's do an event for 150 people, then 200 people, then 300 people. But I just went straight in going, I want to get 500 people in a room when I'd only ever previously got 60. So that's
ADHD.
Maybe. Well, I think that's like doing that. And I think when people see you doing something quite big, I think their perception is that you've got your shit together, you know what you're doing. So if you get something wrong, there's no empathy. There's no, like, if I did an event for 30 people and something went wrong, like the microphones didn't work, the AVs didn't work, or they couldn't get in the door because it was locked, it'd just be okay then. But when you do something on a bigger level, people just haven't got that empathy. They expect everything to be perfect. And actually it's the opposite. Like, the small ones should be really easy to get right. The big ones are really hard.
I get it. So one of the things I also promised people we'd talk about in this live is getting into stages, getting onto those big stages. You know, I've spoken on loads of them. You're doing more and more speaking as well now. I'm helping you with training some of your emerging speakers for Peak Fest this year. How do you choose your bigger speakers? What's your advice for people who want to get onto those bigger stages as an event organizer?
So I'll be completely honest, and you know this, like, a lot of my speaking opportunities are sponsored, because when an event is multiple 6 figures, you have to look at ways to bring revenue in. And I know a lot of people.
We've waxed lyrical about this loads of times, haven't we? Because I always go, no, don't pay to speak. That's your work. But, you know, I understand it too. Sometimes you've got to find ways to get it up. And I think a sponsorship where there's lots available and including a speaker package is different to you have to pay to come and speak. It's semantics.
And that's the thing that, like, for me, so what I create is a sponsorship package where there's a lot of promotion, and I'll do promos on social media, emails that can come do online launches, and I'm looking to get them leads all the way up to the event. And then the event, and then the speaker at the event, and get leads from the event. One thing I wanted to ensure, and did this last year and the same again this year, is that I don't have lots of speakers covering the same subjects. So like what I did is make sure that actually, you know, everybody is in their own niche. So when people come to Peak Fest, they're not going to get like 6 people talk about social media, or 5 people talk about the same thing, or 10 people that all go, right, let's all close your eyes, pray at the end of the talk. Like, it needs to all be very different. Sorry.
Damn it. That's mine gone.
And also, like, what I also look for is I want my speakers to give real value. This isn't a come and stand on my stage and tell everybody how hard your life's been with no end in and just then try and flog something. It's like, actually, I want you to teach my audience something. I want them to leave with tangibles. I've always said Peak Fest, it isn't about listening to speakers and learning, you know, they've got to this many millions and they've got here and they've got here. And you get home and go, well, I've got no idea how they did that. Amazing. I feel motivated and inspired because they've got 100K months and earning 7 figures, but I don't know what did they do to get there? And that's what frustrates me about some events. So with Peak Fest, it's very much like, I want the speakers to give value. I want them to tell people how they've done it. How did you do that? How have you got there? What did you do? And have a bit of interaction, which is why I like the workshops as well as the stage, so that there's different things you can actually really get stuck in and leave with, like, right, oh my God, this is gold. This is the one thing I'm going to do. And even though there's a lot to get involved in with workshops and speakers, I think you've got to come to the event quite selfishly and be like, let's be honest, if everybody loves you that comes and knows you and are working with you, but they'll want to come and watch you talk to support you. If somebody was speaking in the workshop on something that they really need to learn, it's like, you've got to be selfish with your time. As much as Taz would want you to support her, Taz was actually rather you go and learn that thing that's going to help you make more money in your business.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You've got to come and be selfish and go, well, actually, I'm shit at social media, so I'm going to go to the social media session.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if somebody's like, no, my goal this year is to speak on stage, and they need to come and watch you. Like, so it's just with the events, making sure that you choose, you get out of it what you want, really, and you go and choose the things that are going to make your business move. I can't remember what you actually asked me. I just went rambling on.
That's done it. So one of the things you've switched this year, and I think it's brave and it's a cracking idea, is you've moved from having one big well-known headline speaker, because you had Sarah Davies last year, and you've got loads of speakers, but you've got a kind of a handful of your headline keynoters, if you like, who are kind of my kind of level, thereabouts, who are out there smashing it at the coalface, genuinely doing the work, still interacting with people, not so big that they've forgotten what it's like. What made you switch and go to practical, hands-on, out there and doing it speakers rather than
I think,
although if you want to see me and go, that's fine.
I'm going to get everyone to do that now.
I think you should.
I think so. Like last year, we had Sarah Davies and we had Bianca Miller-Cole. Both were absolutely amazing. And then this year, obviously, I had lots of conversations. I know we spoke, and I was looking at different people and who I'd bring in and who the audience would relate to and who would be a pull. Let's be honest, when events have got one big headline speaker, it's a pull for tickets. And that's why, in all honesty, that's why we do it. Because it's like, well, if I can get this person that I know everybody wants to see, they're going to buy a ticket to my event. And then I was a bit like, well, I don't... And I was a bit like, well, I don't want loads of people to book a ticket to see somebody and not care about all of the other speakers and sponsors.
I get you.
I want them to come because they want to come and learn from lots of different people. They want to see lots of different people. Also, I've been to so many events and I've seen so many speakers, like Sarah at my own. I've seen Stephen Bartlett, who's amazing. I've seen Joe Wicks. I've seen Davina. I've seen Fan Cotton. I've seen all these people. Have I learned anything from them? No. Have I come away from that event and gone, oh my God, I'm going to be the next Fern Cotton or the next Davina McCall? No, they've just said some motivational stuff like, keep going, don't have no's, look after yourself. Like, we know all this stuff already. And we know this and we can share this. But actually, if I bring in speakers that are in the doing now, like yourself, absolutely smashing it, but you're still here, you're in this online world, you've got the connections. You understand what the audience need more than somebody that is high level celebrity that would never reply to you in an inbox. Like you're never going to get access to them.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's a huge risk not having that big celebrity speaker. But in my mind, it's a risk that I want to take. And I want everybody that attends Peak Fest to get real value from people who understand them, from real people who know what they're going through, who understand how freaking hard it is to be spinning a million plates, who understand how it's hard to have your kids, whether they're younger, mine's going through GCSEs, that got ADHD, that have got all these other problems, that, you know, sales aren't as great as they were a year, 2 years ago, that actually understand what is happening in business right now, so that they can teach what we need right now to move the needle. So it's not just about leaving motivated, it's about leaving with advice from real people who know what it's like and that you can actually go and implement and make a change. So that's kind of the decision I've made, and hopefully people will buy tickets regardless of me not having a massive big celebrity speaker there.
I also think that, and kind of being semi-serious with this one, when we look at the lineup of the headline keynoters you've got, we're all people that are on our way anyway.
I've got amazing. Like, I'm super proud of the lineup that I have.
You've got a cracking lineup.
Yeah. And even just like the energy within the WhatsApp chat, like the speakers chat is so friendly, and like you're all friendly with each other, and it just feels really lovely. And we've got amazing speakers that I know are all going to deliver amazing, and the workshop hosts, and then we've got the silent seminar, which is new. So if you don't know what a silent seminar is, imagine a silent disco, but instead of dancing and listening to music, you're learning and listening to speakers. And it's just another stage where people can put the headsets on and get some advice and just listen to the speakers. So we're testing that out this year as something new as well.
Love that idea.
Yeah, I kind of like, I think if it works well on the small stage, next year I'll have like a bigger stage with that, because I'm seeing it a lot more at bigger events now. But I don't want the whole main stage with it. But maybe next year we'll have a couple of rooms and we'll go a bit bigger with it. We'll see. But yeah.
Amazing. So tell us what else is on offer at Peak Fest this year. We've gone indoors.
So we're indoors. So we're at
smart.
It's the Vox Conference Centre. I'm not going to lie, this is one of the best venues in the UK.
And again, still thinking you'll go small.
Yeah.
Oh, small that this time. I'll go for the Vox. Right, okay.
Yeah, it's eye-wateringly expensive, but it is so accessible. It's just for attendees. So one, to get there, it's right next on the NEC, it's on Birmingham Airport. You've got Birmingham International Train Station, you're just off the motorways, it's free parking. You literally cross the road, go up the escalators, and you're there. For disabled access, you park inside Resorts World, and you literally just walk through a corridor and you're right there. It's all flat, it's all accessible. We've got multiple toilets, so I can ensure that we've got, you know, gender neutral toilets as well as spaces for everybody.
You're going to dig a hole this year.
Do you know, I'll tell you what, our toilets at Peak Fest last year were the nicest toilets ever. They were like proper posh loos. For a festival, they were insane. So we've got that. There's even like hydration stations in the walls. You can go and fill up your bottles of water and just all the little things. It's like, it's got hearing loops. It's got all the accessibility. We've got a security team on site. Like, it's just a really amazing venue. Then the rooms are ace. Like, they're big. All the lights can have whatever color I want on the lights in the ceiling. And we're going to try and transform it to have a bit more of a festival fun feel. We've got the main stage area. Then we've got the workshop stage for those 60-minute workshops. So there'll be 3 of those a day. Then we've got the wellbeing stage for those people that want to, self-care, resilience. We've got Joe Howarth with the Happiness Club, who's got the wellbeing stage. Then we've got Charlotte Dover, who is hosting the sensory space. And she is having that separate room. So if you just need some time to switch off, have some peace and quiet, get away from the crowds. We've got the sensory room as well. So yeah, it's just going to be amazing. We've got all the speakers, the workshop host, the wellbeing, fun, and we've got a party on the Thursday night. So Thursday night, bar will open, we'll all come. And that's like, for me, that's where people really get to know each other. You go, you chill out, you have some food, and you come and just have the party, and that'll be good fun as well.
And are we having a theme for the party, Nick?
I haven't got a theme.
We've got to dress as zebras.
All dressed like we've just walked out of a safari.
Oh, safari theme party.
We could do that, yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Well, so Automicon do Hawaiian shirts, so go safari.
Yeah, that's true. Not? They do the jazzy shirt night, don't they? Maybe I have to think of something.
Everybody wear a pith helmet. We'll come and have a pith up.
And I mean, you're on the site of Resorts World, so like, if people, I don't want people to leave the venue, but like, if you just want to go for a walk, there's a lake outside, you can go and have a walk, get some fresh air. There's shops, restaurants, bars, so it's like perfect location. But we're going to feed you and give you drinks all day, so you don't need to go anywhere.
Brilliant. So where do people get the tickets? What are all the different ticket options? And when you've done that, Christ, we've been on it for nearly an hour. I mean, crikey, sorry. Apologies to any religious people.
I'm Catholic. Did you know that?
I can tell by your behaviours. Yeah. Yeah. So aside from how people get their tickets, tell them, give people a little bit of a sneak peek about what's coming up very, very soon.
So you can go and get a ticket on peakfest.co.uk. The tickets range from £300 for the full 2 days. There are other options. So if you want to come to our speakers dinner, so if you want to come and have dinner with me and all the speakers, such as Taz, Des, all the speakers, then on the Wednesday evening, we're having a nice VIP luxury speakers dinner, a nice sit down meal. We'll do like the posh thing before we all go and let our hair down at the event. So we got that. And then that's like the higher level ticket. If you want that, you get priority seating. But if you go onto the website, you'll see the ticket options. If you need to bring a carer, you can add a carer's ticket on for £150 so that you've got somebody with you to help you throughout the event. We've got that as well. But next week, I'm running an online 2-day event. And this event really is for anybody who wants more consistent cash in their business, who loves the thought of having their own community or their own events and bringing their own people together. So we're running a 2-day online event, and there's different workshops that you can dip in and out of. I'll be running a few. I used to do a course a few years ago called Membership Mastery. And as part of that course, I taught people how to literally create, set up, market and launch their own paid memberships. And I haven't ran it since 2022. And what this is going to be is kind of like, actually, everything I've done, my 60 events, Peak Fest, book collaborations, speaking on stages, all started with a £17 a month membership that I started from nothing. And I know everybody else can do exactly the same. So these 2 days are dedicated to showing you how you can create community. Like if you look at people you look up to and people that are smashing it and doing it well, tend to have communities. Like you've got people around you, you've got your tribe, you've got your supporters. And I want to help more people do that. I want more events. I want more things going on. I want more connection. Like I want. But I know how powerful it is for people to do that. So we're going to do these 2 days. And then we're going into the next launch for Peak Fest tickets. So yes, you can go and buy them now. But we've got some proper juicy stuff coming up, which you'll get anyway. If you haven't got a ticket now, you're still going to get the juicy stuff that we're going to be announcing next week. And then there's like a little bonus in there as well. So if anybody does launch their membership before Peak Fest, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but there is a little bit of bonus as well. But I've created a group on Facebook. What we'll do is I'll get you opted in so I can give Taz the link and then you can post the link. And then you'll come into that free event. You'll come into the Facebook group. We've got about 170 people in the group already. And today we're talking about passions, what you would do if you took your business completely out of it. Like who would you set a community up for? We're just having some fun. So come in and connect now. You'll meet people now. And then next week, we're going to do this 2-day online event free of charge, have some fun, make some connections, make you some more money. And then, yeah. My goal, I want to sell 350 tickets to Peak Fest. That's my goal.
Next week,
that you get 3. Oh, that would be amazing if I could sell it next week. Oh, wouldn't that be good? We're up to 110. So we're up to 110, which is great, including speakers. Sorry.
Dates of the event?
10th and 11th of July. 10th and 11th. So it's Thursday, Friday. If you've got teenagers, you can bring your teens for free. So just DM me, but I'll be putting more stuff out there. We can add your teens on for free. So if you've got any teenagers who might want to look at having their own business or see what this whole world's about, then bring them along. Because
and you've got other speakers as well, haven't you? So you're doing your stuff, plus I'm doing a bit, and some of the other speakers from Peak Fest are coming in and adding to this 2-day event as well.
So the we've got, so you're doing your session on Tuesday. Is yours
Tuesday? Yeah, have to stop being afraid of stop stopping yourself from building a tribe, because so many people hold themselves back from starting in the first place. So that'll be a bit of confidence building, a bit of how I started to build mine. And smash it.
Somebody said in my group today, like, oh, I'd love to do a group for this thing, but there's already loads out there. And I was like, never let that stop you. Exactly. No. How many business groups are there, and coaching groups, and never let that stop you.
So for anyone who wants to search for it, if you search under my name, Taz Thornton, somebody else is already doing your business. I wrote an article on this a few years back. So if you imagine that you walk into Boots, let's say you're going in for a lipstick, and there's only one brand of lipstick in there in one colour. You go into how many different brands of makeup are there?
Exactly, yeah.
There's enough for them all. Imagine if you could still only buy one black Model T Ford car. All of the people out there, you can have any fizzy drink you like, but it can only be Coca-Cola. Just there's different. There's loads of variety on everything. So why so many of us, as particularly as kind of solo business owners, think I can't because somebody's already doing it? Loves, I am in the most saturated. I'm a coach. I'm a speaker trainer. I'm in probably the most saturated area ever, and I'm doing all right. Thanks. I wasn't the first. And I coach other coaches. I train other people to do what I'm doing, and I still don't sit there thinking, "Oh, there won't be room for me."
Well, that's it. I mean, things like events, like as well. It's like, oh, I'm not going to do an event like that. So there's loads of big events. And it's like, and I actually now love helping other people do their events. I'm helping somebody at the minute to do the first event to get 100 people for the first time. Like, I want to help people do that.
Let's just look at that mindset there for a second, though, Nick. We know that there's been some sour pineapples who are trying to damage yours because, oh, no, we can't have another one out here doing the same. And you're out there going, come on, we can all do it.
Yeah.
How do you keep that mindset to not go into competition, but go into collaboration and just trust that there is enough for us all to go around? There just is. Whatever you're doing, there's space. Exactly, there's space.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And we're all different. So that's what all our events will be different. Our communities will be different. What we talk about will be different. So yeah, just do it. Just do it. Come to the 2-day event. You're going to learn from me, Taz. We've got Hannah doing sales. We've got Sean doing all the stuff that we all probably hate. Is like the stuff you need to do. We've got things like tech, building your social media, loads. Like all the speakers are going to be bringing something different and unique. Communication from Danielle, because that's super important, getting your communication right.
Totally.
So yeah, it's going to be really good fun. 2 days, it's free, dip in and out. I know we're all busy. I know we've got lots on our plate, but you'll have one Zoom link and you can just come and attend the things that you want to attend. But it's going to be really good fun. And you want to go and get your ticket for Peak Fest, because if you don't, quite frankly, you're going to be really sad and you're going to cry when you see us all having fun.
You get massive FOMO. I had massive FOMO last year. This year is going to be epic. And Nick doesn't know this yet, but she's not getting rid of me now. I'm going to be at every bloody Peak Fest. That's it. You're stuck with me for life.
Well, you better be good on the stage then, aren't you?
Well, obvs. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be training speakers, would I? That's one. If any of you are watching this and think you would love the opportunity to just grab some one-to-one in-person time with Nick, we have literally one space left for my Heart of Speaking 3-day speaker retreat at the end of April. There were some tickets where you could get to speak on the Peak Fest stage as part of it. They've all gone. But Nick is going to be one of the attendees. She's coming along. She's eating her own dog food. She's going to come and do the training with everybody else. So if you want to be in the same room with her, one ticket left for that. So shout quickly. We will drop the links to the Peak Fest tickets under this somewhere in the comments, depending on which platform you're watching it on. links for people to sign up for next week, Nick? Have we got those as well? Or
yeah, I'll give you the link and then you can sign up. It's just a landing page. Just go and pop your email address in and you'll be in, and it will direct you to the Facebook group to come and join everybody. And then like I've got 3 keynote talks left. If you want to share the stage with Taz and you are a good speaker, then reach out to me. And we've got 2 workshops left. And then we've got a couple of the silent seminar new things going on. So if you want to be on stage at Peake Fest as well, then let me know.
Can't wait. I cannot wait to see you there. Can't wait to be having a whale of a time at Heart speaking with you as well. And next week's going to be epic.
I'm so scared.
You'll love it. You're going to rock it. You wait till we get you doing our guitar. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Okay.
So we've been on here for just over an hour. This was going to be a 30-minute chat. I could talk to you all week, I reckon. But yeah, we've all got businesses and clients and stuff. So thank you so much to everyone who's commented. No, thank you for sparing the time. To everyone who's commented, thank you. Please, please, please keep sharing this. Please go and tell everybody they need to get their Peake Fest tickets, because honestly, it is going to be bloody epic. I am so excited for this event. Can't wait.
I mean, the venue holds 900, so like the sky's the limit. Let's see what we can do.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Thank you everyone for listening. Thanks for being here. And thank you very much, Taz.
And just one little bit of kudos for you, Nick. Please remember that, you are such a bloody trailblazer, because you had the original outdoor business festival idea. You made it happen. I'm sure you'll do it again. And you're trailblazing now by turning an indoor business event into a festival rather than a stuffy business event. Proper trailblazer. Be there or be square, people.
Yes,
lots of love.
Please do. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.